you so much. So welcome, everybody. This is the Battery Park City Committee meeting of Community Board 1 in Manhattan. My name is Justine Kuchia, and I'm the chair of this meeting, and my co-chair is Kathleen Gupta. On the call from the board are Bpca, Bob Schneck, Jeff Myhock, Sarah Cassell. Then we also have from the board that are not on this committee, but Detta Ahi, is that correct? And I think that's it from the board. We are welcome here. We're going to be doing Robert's rules through this meeting. So what will happen is I'll be calling on people to unmute themselves when it's time for them to speak. When someone is presenting, everybody should be muted so we don't have feedback or background noises. And I will call on everybody. Everyone will have a chance to speak. Raise your hand when you want to say something, or if you put your camera on and wave at me, that also works. And we will go from there. The committee itself, the board members speak first, and then we'll go to the public, and we'll get going. Judith Weinstock is trying to get in, but she's having trouble. Lucian, can you kind of figure out if you can help her out?
I sent her emailed her the link directly.
Thank you.
Outside of that, I don't know how to help her.
Right. And let's get going. So I like to welcome BJ Jones from the Battery Park City Authority. BJ.
Thanks, Justine. And although I see all familiar names on the screen, just in case for folks who are watching from elsewhere, I'm BJ Jones, President and CEO of the Battery Park City Authority. I wanted to say hello. I wanted to thank you for hosting us tonight. I realize that our public updates over the past year have largely focused on resiliency, because that's been a huge effort and priority for us, in addition to navigating the pandemic, which I realize everybody's doing, and I hope everyone's hanging in there. But we're planning to have some more community updates in the coming weeks and months, with the thought of kind of zeroing in on some focused topics stemming from our strategic plan and day-to-day operations. And so this is another step in the interest of doing that. So we'll be doing it in venues like this. We may host some meetings as well, and just looking forward to updating you on everything we have going on in a very weird time. But today we're going to talk about, I think, a positive topic, which is our parks, which are, I think, along with, the residents and are kind of the connective tissue of the neighborhood. And I've gotten a lot of feedback about, how people have really come to value them in this time in particular and over the years. And I have found it to be the same, and I've seen Justine and a few of you out and about on occasion as sanity walks and what have you. But wanted our parks operations team to brief you on where we are and what we're up to and where we're headed. And I'm really proud of this team for all the work they do and how they've navigated this time. But as a lot of you know, being longtime residents, this isn't the first challenge they've had to navigate, and so they've been really great champions and carrying on. So I'm really happy to introduce Bruno, although most of you know Bruno, our Vice President of Operations, and Ryan Torres, our Assistant Vice President of Operations, and we have some other folks watching and joining in, and they'll tell you a lot more about our team, but thank you for the time. I hope you find this informative, and at the end you'll see too, we've said in other community meetings too, an opportunity to hear your feedback and questions, but this isn't the only venue to get that. Anytime you have feedback or questions about, our parks, please let us know through Nick or, me or any, channel you see fit. But looking forward to hearing your feedback and, to keep the conversation going. So with that, I'll turn it over to Bruno, who's going to kick things off. Thanks again, everybody. Take care.
Thanks so much, BJ. Bruno, welcome.
Thank you, BJ. Thank you, Justine, and thank you for allowing me to present and update what we do in Parks operation. I'm not sure how. I don't see the presentation up.
Bruno,
So
hi, this
yeah.
is Lucian. I'm going to load up your slides, but first I have to do a little bit of housekeeping. I believe we have Judith Weinstock, who's a committee member, joining us by phone.
Yes,
So,
good.
Judith, I'm unmuting your line. Is this you, Judith?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Okay, Judith, if you could mute yourself from your phone, and that way you can just unmute yourself selectively as if you were a panelist. But *3 will raise your hand, and Justine will see if you have something to say. That way we can treat this as close to being a real panelist as we can.
There you go. And
Got it.
is Judith on the as a member or no?
She is joining us by phone, so she can't be moved over.
Got it. Okay.
But she can unmute herself and speak at will.
Perfect.
Okay, I've got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Bruno,
thank
all
you
the show
again.
is yours.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Good, thanks, Lucian.
So again, thank you for allowing me to present today. Can we go to the next slide? And a list of just what we're going to be presenting today and things that you'll see on some of the slides. Next slide, please. Okay, again, my name is Bruno Pomponio. As some of you may know, I am the Vice President of Park Operations, and I've been at the authority for, I'm on my 24th year. So it's been a number of years. I'm fortunate to have started here at a time early on. I started out as a plumber and worked my way to the Director of Maintenance and then finally to where I am today. I have a strong technical background in maintenance and especially useful in our operations of the park and day-to-day. Parks operation department consists of two divisions. They are the maintenance division and the horticulture position. When I first started at the authority, what struck me out most about the staff was the pride and the quality and the craftsmanship of the work that they do day to day. And it brings me great joy to say that that is even present in today. The staff is dedicated and they have a deep sense of pride in the work that they perform. We continue to employ talented and dedicated staff that allows us to oversee and direct all the work needed to be done in the parks. And some of the technical responsibilities include, but are not limited to, we have carpenters, horticulturalists, arboriculture, plumbing, painting, sustainable landscape, masonry, carpentry, electricians, metalwork. We do it all. Next slide, please. Having the good fortune of having a great team surround me makes my job so much easier. But and today I have some of those talented staff with me. So I want to introduce a few of them. Ryan Torres, who's our Vice President of Park Operations, and she's been with the authority just over 5 years, and started out as the Assistant Director of Horticulture, and 3 years ago she was transitioned into the Assistant Vice President. Ryan has a strong background in horticulture, which complements my strong background in maintenance, and together we make a good team in overseeing parks operation. We also have on the line or in this presentation is Robert Maggi, who's our Director of the Maintenance Division. Robert has been with us for over 20 years, has started out as an electrician, has promoted through the ranks over the years, and is now current position as Director of Maintenance. We also have David Wallace, who's an Associate Director of Horticulture. He's been here approximately 6 years, and he currently is working with Ryan Torres and overseeing the Horticulture Division. Next slide, please. So here we have a group of staff that have been here for over 5 years. Next slide. Next slide, please. We have a group of staff that have been here for 10 years. Okay, next slide, please. This is a number of staff that have been here for 20. And amazingly enough, next slide, please. We even have staff that have been here for 30 years. And many of the staff don't just make this a stepping stone. I believe that many of the staff that work here make this a career path. And because of them and through their dedication, we're able to maintain the open spaces, parks, and gardens as we do. Next slide, please. BPCA's Resilience Action Plan. Our organization's first strategic plan was developed in 2019. Outlines BPCA's priorities in 4 main areas with goals and actions for each. Next slide, please. 3 of the plan's goals involves parks operation, which include amplify and steward our world-class public spaces through forward-thinking design, quality, and craftsmanship. Integrate climate resilience, sustainability into our policies and operations. Develop and implement a strategy to achieve a carbon neutral battery park city. Next slide, please. The goal to amplify and steward our world-class public spaces has 2 main goals. Establish BPCA as a biodiverse haven and enhance the beauty and excellence of our public spaces. Our parks are home to many native birds and beneficial insects which prey upon the harmful ones. Next slide, please. Sorry, and one more slide, I jumped ahead. Okay. One more, can you go back one? I'm off here. Okay. We continue to establish BPCA as a biodiverse haven in New York by building our team's effort to make BPCA a sanctuary for nature. In 2020, just about 89% of the plant species we purchased were native, helping to ensure that our smaller residents have food, shelter to survive. Through our current wildlife census, so far, 56 diverse species of birds, insects, and mammals have been identified by members of the community. And again, thanks to our staff's expertise and the utilization of leading sustainability equipment and methods, BPC remains a home to premier open and public spaces. We look forward to building on past successes. Next slide, please.
I just want to make sure, sorry, this is Nick Spordone. I want to make sure we're on the right slide. Is that the right one for you? I don't want to make sure we're not breaking your flow here. Which one?
Yeah.
Which one would you want to be on?
It's
Okay.
it's
Go ahead, Ryan.
Ryan. Yeah, it's if you advance, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4. We should be caught up.
Okay. That's where I am. Now we need to go to the next slide. Right there. Stop there. Thank you,
Okay.
Nick.
Move
Thanks,
forward
everyone.
4.
Thank you, Lucian. Thank you, Ryan.
Okay.
And then one more. Yep, that one.
No, I'm on that one. Stay there. Okay. The neighborhood has been home to an array of diverse flora and fauna. This through careful maintenance and dedication of our horticultural team. BPC has evolved from infill to oasis for different plants, pollinators, and animal species in New York City. Our horticulture team is committed to planting a largely native plant palette in order to achieve our goals in improving the biodiversity of Battery Park City. This type of horticulture practice makes our parks more attractive to the pollinators and migratory birds that call Battery Park City home. Our team also maintains many of our beloved flowers that the community has come to love and admire through annuals and bulbs. We will continue to educate and encourage passerbyers to stop and notice the wildlife while admiring and enjoying the beauty of the gardens. We will also look to communicate scientific knowledge behind our garden maintenance practices as we continue to strengthen our commitment to native plants and biodiversity with the traditional aesthetics of garden beauty the public has come to expect from our parks. We've posted 35 What's in Bloom posts so far, showcasing what's happening in the gardens. In addition to social media, Our horticulture division is working on a spring bloom plan that will further showcase what is flowering in each area of the park and plan on updating that seasonally. This has the potential to draw new visitors to the neighborhood and further contribute to New York City's and the region's ecological recovery. We will also look to further investigate ways to perfect the mechanism to report and record observations of new wildlife in our parks and public spaces, which we'll make available to the public. Collaborate with various conservation groups and neighboring parks to ensure cross-promotion of these attributes and enable them to share our best practices. Next slide, please. Another important component, as I mentioned, is enhancing the beauty and excellence of our public spaces. And this is as much about what we plan as about how we maintain our spaces. We do this by keeping our natural assets of Battery Park City accessible, safe, and clean for today and tomorrow's users through proactive, directed investments and maintaining best-in-class conditions of our footpaths, fixtures, and other public service amenities. We also do this by continuing to cultivate gardens that showcase artistry and reinforce urban ecology. To meet our staff's high standard of maintenance, we supply our ongoing work with a robust capital plan to address our capital and preventive maintenance needs. Next, please. It is through dedicated staff that we maintain our assets to be accessible, safe, and clean, and continue to ensure Bpca is a destination for its parks and beautiful public realm. We manage this through our day-to-day operations. Operating the compactor daily, where most of the residential trash is collected. Compactor is open at 10:30 daily, 7 days a week, and we operate them 362 days a year. Collecting street trash and park trash. During the winter months, this is done once a day, but during the height of the season, it can be done up to 3 times a day. Maintaining the public restrooms, the dog runs, the playgrounds by checking on them often throughout the day and cleaning them daily. In the middle picture, we have William John is performing what we call a washdown of Rectigate. We also use this in our dog runs, which are less harmful to our pests and residents. Also, we use the same enzyme eating cleaners for high traffic areas such as the Esplanade as shown above. Each morning, staff visit playgrounds where they remove debris and trash from the sand and play areas. They also use a rake to level the sand and capture any small debris. Next slide, please. Here's a picture of our stonemason Willem and his assistant Al. They're working on repairing hex pavers throughout the park. Preventative, next slide, please. Preventative maintenance of our assets, such as light fixtures, pavers, and benches, is a key factor in upkeeping of the parks. Pictured here, we have a staff member hand painting the light heads to ensure that they're always looking their best. As staff cleaning the playground, we have one of our staff members, our carpenter, Carlos, who is power washing the benches in preparation of installing new slats. And we also have somebody on a boom lift fixing some of the park lights. Next slide, please. Even during a pandemic, parks operations hardly missed a beat. When it came time to keep the parks clean and continue operations, restrooms were open, trash was collected, paths were and open spaces were maintained, and we continued our compost. And we've done so safely using social distancing, face covering, and we've adjusted shifts so that we can reduce density in the workplace. Next slide, please. Working with our partner, Allied Universal, in our daily reports, they're our eyes to the parks 24 hours a day. And during the daily communication, they inform us of lights that could be potentially out, whether someone is tampering with any parts of the park, especially the life rings that were installed. And even in the event of graffiti, they inform us, show us pictures, and then we remove it, usually within 24 hours when possible. Next slide, please. Maintaining the gardens year-round allow horticulture division to pay close attention to the details about each space, properly maintaining them through pruning, plant selection, weeding, planting, and using integrated pest management practices. Next slide, please. Staff are assigned specific areas so they can gain a deep understanding of the past through original design intent, the present by being in the gardens daily, and the future by working towards our goals. We have certain areas pictured in this slide, and then in every area that there are certain staff members that are responsible. We have James and Sandra who work in Rockefeller Park, and I know you see the lily pond there. James is the keeper of the lily pond. He's the one who keeps that lily pond looking the way it does. And we have the Esplanade, but we have Nicole, who's in charge of the Esplanade, and then Richard, who's also in charge of the Irish Hunger Memorial. So having the staff in specific areas allows us to take special care and understand the needs of the areas. Next slide, please. With over 200,000 square feet of living and artificial turf, we have Bob, who's on staff for over 10 years and who's our turf specialist. And we have a number of parks that aren't pictured here, but there is Nancy, who's in charge of Teardrop Park, and we have Jean, who's in charge of Wagner Park, and Ned, who's in charge of the Museum of Jewish Heritage, and we have Erin, who's in charge of South Cove, Evan, Rockefeller Park, and Dana, the Eastern Border. So, you know, again, all of these staff, they take pride and they love their job and they love what they do. Next slide, please. Parks Operations is here for all the needs of the open spaces. From the over 30 inches of snow that fell this year. Next slide, please. To the response of Tropical Storm Isaiah in August, where we lost a total of 12 trees and had to remove over 10 cubic yards of debris. And currently our horticultural team is working on our spring tree planting plan to put a schedule together and to see how we can get more trees planted. Next slide, please. Okay, and this is where I'm going to turn it over to Ryan, our Assistant Vice President of Parks Operations. She'll follow through. Ryan, you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you. Thank you, Bruno. Yeah, so these two goals go hand in hand, connecting our focus on environmental responsibility. Here we're going to look about some of our efforts to that end, including our environmentally friendly practices, composting, zero waste initiatives, all great stuff to look forward to. I'm sorry, next slide. I've got to get used to the next slide part. And I apologize, I have a new puppy at home that I'm trying to keep as quiet as possible. Okay, thank you. Building on Battery Park City's longstanding efforts to integrate sustainability concepts and practices into our daily work, such as through composting. In 2020, we collected over 36,000 pounds of compost from the community, over 13,000 pounds from Gateway, which we have compost drop-offs specifically in their residential space. And we'll be able to look to expand and improve the Battery Park City organic waste collection network and increase local capacity for composting and broaden the organic waste types that we can compost, and look to build on some of that. Next slide, please. Thank you. And through continually exploring our forward-thinking and innovative ways to make a positive mark on the environment, such as through our dog waste composting program, which thus far has been surprisingly, or not surprisingly, successful. We've collected over 1,000 pounds of dog waste in 2020, and we've received positive results from the testing that we've done on the compost, and we're working through as a team to perfect those processes. Next slide, please. I'm also happy to say that our zero waste initiatives have been very successful, and we've achieved gold certification from our 75 at our 75 battery facility by changing our behaviors and attitude towards waste. We're constantly looking for ways to manage our waste by looking upstream, which enables us to think in an innovative and strategic way when it comes to the items we bring into the facility. We continue to perform waste audits for the waste streams at 75 Battery Place, and we've recently started weighing all the street and park trash that we collect on a daily basis. And we're looking forward to bringing new goals of zero waste into the open space and the operations. Next slide, please. Some of the just a few of the environmentally responsible practices that we do. Here we have plant-based cleaners that we use throughout the parks. We have a magnesium-based salt for snow removal. Our 5.1 linear miles of slats in the parks are often refurbished and maintained using low VOC paints. We're transitioning to LED fixtures for our offices and parks, and we have 19 electric vehicles for staff use and a variety of battery-operated equipment. Next slide, please. Oh, oh yeah, no, we're there. Good. Yes, next slide. Yes, thank you. As Battery Park City landscape is reimagined to address our vulnerability to the elements, we look forward to incorporating leading design and features in concert with our upcoming resiliency initiatives. We do that by collaborating with real property and other departments, and we look towards the green guidelines as a resource for work to come. Next slide, please. And we are heartened by the positive feedback that we've received. Oh, yep, sorry. We are heartened by the positive feedback we've received during this challenging time. People have come to appreciate our parks in new ways, and we have as well. We're always open to feedback, and if you see any opportunities for enhancement, please let us know. And if you see things that you like, we're also happy to hear those as well, as we love to recognize the horticulture and maintenance staff for the great work that they do. This is a quote that we had, or a note that we had received from a resident. It says, now with the quarantine, daily walks are more cherished. Leaving the isolation of my apartment and walking through the parks is uplifting. It is reassuring to see everything so clean and in spectacular bloom. Just something worth sharing. Next slide, please. And when in doubt, we always encourage everybody to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, where not only are we always uploading the what's in bloom, but it's always keeping you up to date on what's opening, what's happening. We keep that as up to date as possible. And if there's any particular areas of concerns or any more elaborate information that you'd like to share with us, we really recommend that you use our email, info.bpca@bpca.ny.gov. And that's really the best way to communicate with us. Next slide.
That's the end.
Yes, and thank you. That pretty much concludes our Bruno and I's presentation. So if there's any questions, Bruno, I'm going to turn it back to you.
Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. This was great. I appreciate both of you being here and both of you doing the presentation. I'm going to look to the community board first for some questions. And if anybody in the attendee has some questions, Jeff has one. Go ahead. And then Sarah.
First of all, I want to say as a 20-year resident here that I'm amazed by the beautiful work you guys do. It's nice to see you all. I haven't seen Bruno in a long time, so it's nice to see you, Bruno. I've never met you, Ryan.
It has been a long time.
I became father time during that time. It's good to see you guys. So basically, I have nothing but positive things to say, but I have one quick question. I live across from the headquarters on Battery Place, and I'm just wondering, especially the green initiatives, at night, a lot of lights are left on, which is kind of a lot of light pollution. I'm wondering, is there a reason why lights are left on sometimes in the work areas, or if that's just something that is accidental?
I think that's accidental, and I will check into that. Some of the lights should be on sensors and they should turn off, but
Yeah.
lately, being on a reduced staff, I'm not sure, but I will definitely check into that. There's no reason for
It's
them to be on. Thanks for letting me know.
It's mainly in the locker room, and all just wondering about it. It's not a big deal at all. Just wondering. Thank you, and thanks again for all the work you guys do. It's absolutely beautiful down here.
Thanks, Jeff. Sarah?
You guys do an amazing job. It's absolutely wonderful. Bruno, you won't remember, but you gave my probably third grade son and I a beautiful tour of the composting facility. And now he's, of course, in college, and made a big difference in his attitude towards composting. And while your presentation was very interesting, the most important thing that you could have done really was interact with that child. And I hope there's more of that with the schools.
Yes, I thank you for that. And we're able to accommodate you on that. And yes, we always encourage interact with schools and whoever is interested in our composting. So it is something we continue to do. Thank you.
Yay.
Yay.
Anybody else? Speak up, raise your hand. Kathy, go ahead. Go ahead, Kathy. I can't quite hear you.
Am I on mute now? Can you hear me now?
Now I can.
Okay. I was wondering what you said. Well, first of all, thank you. I've lived here for almost 40 years, and it's just amazing to get a comprehensive picture of everything that you do. But I'm wondering what you see as the challenges for the year ahead as we begin to emerge from COVID, and we probably will have a different usage of the park.
Well, it's funny that challenges we've had plenty in my time here. We've been through 9/11, Hurricane Sandy, and every snowstorm for the past how many years, and we've always managed to get back to a point that that people are interactive with the parks, and I'm confident that will happen again. My challenge at this point is just making sure that the staff are safe and the social distancing, and in doing so, I'm a little nervous coming into the summer months because in trying to keep distance, how do you do your job with all of that? And that's what I foresee as my biggest challenge, and I don't like to compromise anybody's safety. So right now, that's my ultimate goal: get back to normal, get back to a point that we can do our jobs without having to worry about what's going on with this pandemic.
Thank you. No, that makes total sense. Kathy, anything else, or?
I wondered if you were anticipating budget cuts that would impact on how you operate.
I haven't heard about anything on that level as of yet. So I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed. No.
Yeah, so are we.
Yeah, so are we, exactly. So, I mean, with the pandemic still with us,
Yeah.
Last summer you had some staff, I guess you didn't, I'm going to call it beef up the staff, or did you for the summer months?
No. Well, for the summer months, we ran a reduced schedule, and we didn't beef up to try and keep the density down in the workplace.
Yeah.
But I'm anticipating this summer to beef up. Again, I gotta be proactive about this. I gotta always hope that for the best, and so I'm gonna hope the pandemic by the summer months will be level at bay, or whatever we want to say. But I gotta work. I always have to be proactive on my approach. So I'm hoping that we'll be full schedule, full swing this coming summer.
That makes sense. And I have a couple, if I may now, and then other people, wave your hands or wave at me, because I'm looking at the chat. I don't see hands raised, but I have a couple of questions. One is, you had said that I forget, 19, 18 electric vehicles. Do you also have, I'm going to call it gas-powered vehicles besides just the electric?
Yes, we do have. We have several gas-powered vehicles. So you learn your lessons in time. So with 9/11, when that all happened, it was great that we had electric vehicles, but then we didn't have electric. Okay, so we weren't able to charge up our electric vehicles. So I'm a believer of, yes, sustainability and having more electric and more sustainable vehicles, but always have a small fleet of vehicles in case
Okay.
the extreme happens. So.
No, that makes sense, actually. That's a good, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was one question. The other question is going to be, and I'm trying to think what's related to the parks and the space. So it'll be, maybe this is more for Ryan. In terms of the plantings, what's your vision in terms of the flowering and the color and everything else for the summer months?
Ryan, you're on.
I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm still getting the hang of all this unmuting and muting stuff. So
No, it's all right.
yeah, so I think that this summer you can definitely plan on seeing lots of the flowers and the colors that we all, love and enjoy. As we talked about in the presentation, we're definitely wanting to make sure that we're supporting the biodiversity that we're trying to keep and encourage more of here. And a lot of that is going to be through native plantings. And that our hope is to continue to educate the public and everybody who wants to listen on those practices and those choices. And that beauty is definitely pretty in terms of colors and flowers and stuff like that. But then there's also a slight shift on pretty being, natives and seed pods, stuff like that. So I think you'll see a lot of the same, and as we shift slowly in some of those directions, that will definitely keep you guys, abreast of.
Okay, that's cool. Thank you. And I'm trying to think of, I do have other things, but I can't think of them, so I'm going to let it rest. Anybody else? I see nobody else with hands raised. Thank you for everything you all do.
Well, and thank you for giving us an opportunity here. And again, if you have any more questions, always reach out to Nick. He's definitely the right person, and he always gets us what we need. Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you for coming on the call.
No,
Thank you, guys.
Bye. Have a good night.
Thank you, Ryan and Bruno. I would add that it's I get you what you need because Ryan and Bruno and the team get me whatever I have questions, what I need. So thank you. And I also don't know if you noticed, Bruno's too modest of a guy, but he was in that presentation himself on the 20 years. He was the James Bond looking fellow in the top right of the 20-year slide. So just in case anyone is unclear.
Nick, you're too kind, Nick. You're too kind.
Right, see?
It's very cute. But yes, it's true.
So thank you guys. And this obviously, Justine, not the last of it. I know we had kind of kicked around maybe having kind of our parks operations team come back periodically, you guys, just to kind of check in, maybe twice a year or something along those lines as we do different plantings. And we have spring planting season coming up. Obviously, we'll have the lawns presumably opening up, all of the rest of the lawns next month, as they usually do, although some of them have remained open through the winter for use by folks throughout the neighborhood. So we'll be back in touch with you for sure, but I wanted to thank them again for taking the time and a very thoughtful and well put together presentation. So thanks, everyone.
I remembered one of my questions, which was about some sort of interaction between the community gardens that are opening up and the parks department or whatever, the parks folks. I think, not being one who has a garden or community garden there, but I think that there was some collaboration where Ann O'Neill would come by and kind of give people tips or do something. And Kathy, maybe you can jump in and help me out there. But I think it was welcomed. I think I recall that. And I'm wondering if that would continue.
Hi, this is Ryan. I can confirm, yes, that there was some, collaboration between Anne, but always has, I feel like
there's a staff too, I bet, right? Yeah.
Yeah, correct. And I think that we're always there if the community gardens needs anything. We sometimes give them compost, collect their compost. If there's any tips or events that are upcoming, Nick has, I think, has always shared those, and we're here as a resource. So continue to be so.
That makes sense. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Yep.
Justine, Lucian, sorry. Lucian, I don't know if you saw my text, but apparently there was some additional confusion for the Brookdale folks.
I mean, that's what I assumed. Yeah.
So we're gonna try again, I guess, with them for Justine. If that's amenable to you, we'll try again with them next month, I suppose.
Let's see what's on the schedule.
What makes sense, right? I mean, it's kind of an evergreen thing, but they are certainly keen on making sure they get some introductions into the community and hear how they can be helpful.
Sure, no, that makes sense. I appreciate that. No, thanks, Nick.
So it's up to you. I'm ready to go. Or if you want to do Pat, you know,
I was gonna say, give Pat a break and let him go next. How's that?
Sure.
Pat, you ready?
Good evening, everybody. How are you?
Hey, Nick.
Oh.
Hey, Pat. Nick, should I pull up your report to the last page where it has the stats
Yeah.
for that?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay.
Sure. Good idea. Thank you, Lucian.
Thank you. Sorry, I do try to, I remember I promised, Pat, that I'd shake it up and let you go sometimes ahead. So this is one of those times. And hopefully we'll be done quickly. So it's a short meeting this month.
Sounds good.
So we're just waiting for, there's Lucian. All right. There we go. All right, Pat, you're on.
Okay, as you can see from our report, it was really a quiet month as far as reports go. Most of the graffiti stuff, the 3 cases that was dealing with life rings, where somebody came along and they wrote on the life ring. All right, we had no interaction with homeless. Lost and found, we had 0 with it. Park rules was only dealing with 3. And of course, we've had no vendors, and with the dogs, we only had 4 dog reports.
It was cold this month. That's why. I think
It was cold, and you had the blizzard also was
Yeah.
this month, and the weather with the rain and everything, and then the on snow, off snow, back to rain. So, like I said, it was a quiet month and also a short month, right, with 28 days. We did give out 102 face masks during that time. So we also had one protest. There seems to be a union protest that goes on Vesey Street every once in a while. I think it deals with healthcare. So they come there with the big rad and they have a big face board. They chant for about an hour and then they leave. We also did 1,221 location checks throughout the park, which is basically checking on, the monuments and different locations to make sure that, like everything's locked up and, and we also now have the testing trucks. 3 of them now are on site.
So are you seeing the new station there by the testing trucks? There's not even lines that I've seen. I think
No, it's supposed to be, the testing trucks is a separate thing. There is security there. But that's separate from Battery Park City Authority site. But the way they do it, it's all by appointment. So they have their sign up there with their website and it's by appointment only type of deal. So there hasn't been any real lines or backups. And there again, I think weather has played an issue also.
Yeah, I think you're right. Am I echoing a little bit? I think, yes, all right. No, go ahead, Patrick.
No, so that's really it. I mean, the ball fields now, if people noticed, they've gotten ready for the baseball season, so they were putting up the poles. The hours have changed now in the ball field. It's now at 8 a.m. to 9 p.m.
And the lights on, right?
Yep, the lights will be on until like 9:05.
Right.
Timer.
Right.
That makes sense. Patrick, I was going to just bring up 2 things because I do keep hearing from people in the community about some ambassadors sometimes being outside on the Esplanade and not wearing masks. So I just ask you to go back again and just remind them to wear their masks when they're outside. I know it's annoying. I hate it, but you have to wear a mask.
I certainly will.
I'm not in the business of getting people in trouble. I'm not looking to, I have pictures. I'm not sending them to you. I just ask you to talk to them, okay?
I certainly will.
Okay, thank you. Because, this time people need their jobs, but they also need to follow the rules.
No, absolutely right, Justine. We're going to enforce the rules. We gotta play by them too.
We got to play by them too. So that makes sense. But otherwise, I think that's pretty good. Anybody have any questions in the chat, any place? I see no questions, so we can move on. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thank you. Have a great month.
Thank you. You too. Take care, Pat.
Bye.
Okay,
All right, Nick, you're up.
Justine, what do you think? This may be an all-time record.
This could be an all-time record. It was a really short meeting, so.
All right, well, look, I want to
This
make
is
sure that,
wonderful.
you know, like anything else, it's comprehensive and it's fulsome, but it's also,
Brief.
efficient. So
Yeah.
I'm going to start. We may, I don't want to build it up too much, but we may have a special guest calling in for one particular item, but for now, let me just start. And then if we do, we do. So thanks everyone and good evening. Just wanted to run through some of the particulars here. I started last month with a different screenshot from the state's vaccine tracker. This month is a little different one, but it's all in the same tracker. So you should actually use the tool. It's a very helpful, very, very powerful tool. You can drill down and use those data points as well. But this is essentially the state's vaccine tracker. You can see that as of this morning, over 3 million New Yorkers have at least one dose of the vaccine, and about 1.7 have completed a vaccine series. And then that allows you that map there that I've screenshot. You can obviously go onto that site, and you will be able to drill down by particular county as well for more hyperlocal numbers. I have some links there that I've had since the beginning. It occurs to me tonight, Justine and Lucian, I was thinking about this. The last time we were all together was March 4th, 2020. That's the last time we had a meeting in person. So it's now a year of doing these things virtually, and I certainly hope that we're closer to the end than we are to the beginning. But we'll keep grinding out as we have and make sure that we're staying safe and healthy. I have some additional links there. You'll see the vaccine finder at the bottom of page 1 for the New York City locations, and then the vaccine dashboard that I had just referenced. You can also click at the bottom for daily coronavirus updates by email, which has been a standing item on reports for some time now. Okay. Page 2, Lucian, if you can scroll down there, I have, as Pat had alluded to, and I had mentioned to you all via email over the course of the month, the second and third of a total of 3 rapid COVID mobile testing locations were in place in Battery Park City. The first, as I reported last month, was at Liberty Place by the police memorial. There are now additional ones in place down by Pier A and up at the Irish Hunger Memorial, as pictured above. So again, that's focus there is on low-cost, convenient testing. Hours are 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. daily. Depending upon uptake and usage, those hours have the ability to expand if it's getting a lot of use, and you can schedule an appointment at the link I've included there, nyrapidtests.com.
I think a very lovely lady from Clarity spoke at the Quality of Life
Yes.
meeting and said that while it does cost $25, if you have insurance, you could submit it to
Yes,
your own.
Susan.
So they'll give you a
Susan,
bill.
yeah, we had gotten her. I think she went to the full board meeting, and you may be seeing
full
some more of them as well.
Yep.
I've gotten her in touch with some of the local publications as well, so they may be running some advertising, trying to get the word out. So, yes, thank you for that. They'll be there. The other thing I should add is they're now extended through April 30th. It was originally going to be the end of the month, February, but now they're in place through April 30th, so folks can continue to kind of get out and get tested and make sure they're staying safe as the economy begins to, knock on wood, reopen.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, of course, thank you. Page 3, that's the chart that I've been including monthly for our 2 zip codes. We are still relatively low. They've kind of flip-flopped a little bit. 10280 in the south was a little above the 3%. It's now down below 2, and 10282 in the north was down about 1%. Now it's a little bit above 3, but still well below the citywide average and staying pretty low, all things considered. Hold on a minute. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, Pat had touched on this, so I will do this briefly, but the seasonal conversions is underway at the ball fields, as you saw, and the hours are now 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. beginning March 1. And that will facilitate baseball, softball in the spring and summer season. So put some pictures there, clockwise from top left, of the netting, the poles, and then the poles being repositioned in the fields, and the netting raised there. Lucian at the bottom of page 3.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
it.
Nick, quick question. You
Yes.
haven't started, and that's my bad for not going to Alice's meetings, but
No, it's okay.
haven't started putting in the resiliency stuff yet for the ball fields? Or you have?
No. Very good question. No, we're working through the final stages of the revocable consent with DOT, which I know the community board played a key role in with the resolution back in January. We would expect, as I had said, hoping that work can begin either the end of this month, beginning April or so. But what we had committed at that point to do was to be back to the community board with some of the follow-ons they had requested regarding pedestrian traffic flow and kind of what parts of the sidewalks might be impacted a little bit. So what I'm going to do is once we have the contractor ready to begin mobilizing, we will be in touch with you all. It may be where it's kind of in between where the actual meetings are, but I will be in touch with the right folks. Maybe we could just jump on the call and maybe do a briefing or a prep. But I just want to make sure that we are following up with the things that we had discussed. Then if it comes back to going to a committee, I will leave it to you all to decide which committee that's best at. But yes, we'll be back to you. Hasn't started yet, but hopefully by the time we're next together next month, it will either have begun or be soon beginning.
That's great. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, we're moving on that. That's really exciting. Top of page 4, real quick. This is a little bit of a self-referential thing, but we had the opportunity to go on a site walk yesterday with some members of Community Board 1, including Lucian and Justine and Sarah Cassell, with the folks from NYC Ferry and EDC and Brookfield and the Port Authority, regarding potential areas that we can queue additional pedestrian traffic in when the citywide ferry service expands. So we did a walk through there. I thank everyone for joining us in very close to freezing or a little below freezing temperatures. But we had some good discussions, and I think we netted out, whereas to the extent that it's necessary and there is some overflow traffic from the terminal onto the Esplanade, we'll put some temporary tensile barriers up against the railing so as to indicate to folks that they should be in line there and not spill out into the Esplanade pathway where there might be runners and walkers and cyclists and other pedestrians. So that was a productive use in time, and we'll look forward to hearing more from EDC and Citywide Ferry as they get close to expanding. Thank you for Lucian and folks for helping coordinate that.
And it was nice that the Allied folks were there too, because they got an understanding of what we expect. So that was nice.
Yes, I got in touch with Pat.
Them.
Pat got his folks there. So thank you, Patrick. And
so it was a good meeting.
I counted 14 people on payroll there to try to problem solve. So that was a great turnout.
Wonderful. So thank you. Very quick now. So Women's History Month, as we know, is the month of March. We will be having some programming, virtual that is, and videos being posted on our YouTube website as we've done for months past with Black History Month and other months as we go. We're really trying to expand our programming even in virtual ways to make sure folks know that we're here and we are trying to enrich as best as we can given the situations we're in. I'll use this as an additional plug, as a community reminder about the house that shall not pass for any color but its own. We mentioned it last month for Black History Month. It's also by a woman Black artist, Mildred Howard, as well. So if you go to the top of page 5 there, Lucian, this was a picture yesterday after our walking tour with the ferry of Lucian Reynolds and Sarah Cassell seeking some shelter from the high winds and freezing temperatures inside the house itself, which I thought was an opportunity I couldn't miss to include in this report. So Lucian had a proper balaclava on and was really fitted out for the cold. And you'll see Sarah there holding some hot coffee and enjoying the house, as it were. The behind-the-scenes story is that Justine was standing right next to me when I took the picture, and when I went to take a picture of her to include in this report, my camera died. Nonetheless, thanks everyone for joining us, and that we had the opportunity to see the house as we were coming back from the Citywide Ferry Tour. It really is something to behold, a really nice installation, and I hope you all enjoy it. We're going to be extending that through spring of 2022. Okay, the art exhibition is virtual and online as well. You've seen some of the works physically in the windows of some of Bpca's facility spaces. And the next blood drive, Lucian, at the top of page 6. As we all know, I alluded to it last month, but the next blood drive is Tuesday, March 23rd, as usual, 6 River Terrace, 12 to 6. The New York Blood Center is, again, in need of blood, especially given some of the cold weather and heavy snow in February. They actually had to cancel a number of blood drives in the area. So anyone who can give, I would encourage you to please do so. It's really a nice setup at 6 River Terrace. Okay, Bpca Resiliency Project updates. We cover this obviously in the Environmental Protection Committee, but we'll be back, I guess, later this month on the 15th when EDC presents a little bit about the Battery Wharf project, and we have some information about the combined North and West Battery Park City resiliency projects there. But I would just make a quick note that we now have a consulting engineer on board who will be guiding what is known as a progressive design build process. That will allow us to bring on a contractor to do both the design and the build in one fell swoop, instead of having to have the design and then bid out for the actual construction work. And we think we're going to realize some efficiencies of scale there as we combine both the North and the West resiliency project. I'll have some more updates for you and dates when we have them.
And Nick, you're saying the 15th, is that the waterfront, is that the Environmental Protection Committee meeting? Or is that your own meeting or an EDC meeting?
No. The 15th is the EPC committee meeting for the month.
EPC, sorry. Okay.
All right. So thank you. So scrolling down now, we can go down to, actually we can zip ahead now to, we have some additional reminders here, standing reminders about the lawns being open, Rockefeller Park, North Meadow, and Wagner Park Terrace, as we know. The Oculus closures, I'm at the top of page 8, they remain in effect. Lucian, if you want to fast forward then to the middle of page 8. The one thing I would note, just for the group here, and we're going to have probably connecting with him soon, but there's a new neighborhood coordination officer for Sector C, which is Battery Park City above West 10th Street. It was Police Officer Bowden, as you may recall. She is still with the police department, but has moved on from community policing. So the new police officer there is Officer Rakwalski. He works with Officer Holman, who I think you all know fairly well. So we'll be looking to get to know him soon enough. Want to welcome him aboard. And I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him around the neighborhood at an event soon. But wanted to make sure you all have the updated information, and his info was there in that chart.
Nick, maybe it would be nice to have them come to a meeting if they could. Well,
yeah, maybe
introduce them. I know they did it at the beginning.
They may want to do it. We'll see. When I speak with Officer Holman, I'll ask and see.
Especially with everything virtual now, it's not that long. People can call on their phone.
Right. It's a good idea. Community composting we have as well. Security updates we've done. Board meetings, we have the list there. And then the last thing I would add, and I wanted to thank Justine, especially for attending, and I know Tammy was there, the bottom of page 9, top of page 10, the NYPD First Precinct Community Council, as we know. That's still NYPD. It's not the neighborhood coordination officers, but it's an opportunity for folks from around Community Ward 1 to meet with the commanding officer of the First Precinct and run down any concerns or questions or issues they're having with public safety and quality of life issues overall. I know Justine had tuned into the last one, and Tammy had as well. And we're looking for folks to get involved. So if anyone is interested in becoming, not just attending the meetings, but actually becoming part of the council, you can let us know. We'll get you in touch with Police Officer Nelson there, who is helping coordinate the outreach. And I think it really is, especially I know with a lot of the questions and conversations the community board has had around policing recently and regularly. It's really nice to see kind of some of the other side of that, which is not necessarily the crisis and crime response of PD, but the everyday kind of issues and range of issues that the police department is working hard and effectively to address. So with that,
Nick, I have a question about that.
Go
actually,
ahead.
do you have to be a member of the community board to be on the council, or no? Or just anybody?
No, I don't think so. I mean, anybody can call in and listen to the meetings.
Oh yeah, that I know.
Anybody can do. To actually be on the community council, no, I don't think you have to be. You can be on the
I just didn't know.
No, you don't have to be. You don't have to be on the community board.
Just a member of the community who's interested.
Interesting.
So with that, there may be some other questions, but without any further ado, I did want to thank our special guest who was able to join us, and thank you, is Mr. Matthew Krennick, who we all know and love.
Matt,
from
nice
Skanska.
to see you again. Yes.
Do you see that? How we're working for you, Justine?
Wow, you are good, and that was going to be my question. So, Matt, I hope you've got good news for me.
Well,
I
have news.
Should I start, or you want to just jump in there, my friend?
It's up to you, Nick. You tell me.
No, go ahead, Matt. Thank you.
Go ahead.
So,
Matt, go ahead.
I forget what last time I spoke to everybody, so I hope everyone is doing well and their families are all well as well. We completed all of the restoration work for the sidewalks, the community garden, and the basketball courts, with the exception of the final painting of the basketball courts, because that is weather sensitive, and obviously we want it to last for you guys. So we have to get to 55-degree days, which we're expecting sometime in April, and that's when we have the contractor scheduled to come back. The sad part is that when we endeavored on the Rector Street project early last year, we had some coordination with 225 Rector. They had a sidewalk shed for their facade work that has been ongoing for some time. And the agreement that was made with DOB to allow us to get this community garden and basketball court project done was that we would take over that safety zone next to their facade work. And the intent was that that work would be done sometime in the summer. And we all know what happened and what has been ongoing, which has delayed many construction projects, including ours. And unfortunately, their work is weather sensitive and they were unable to complete it at this time. So unfortunately, at this time, we are not able to open up the sidewalk and access to the garden and the basketball hoops. We are actively working with the with 225, both Battery Park City, Skanska, and EDC to help them and to work with DOB to move that along as quick as possible. And we're hoping for an expeditious resolution that will allow everyone access back in. But that's kind of unfortunately the quick update that I have. The project's done, but I can't turn it over yet.
All right. Well, no, thank you, first of all, for coming, and I'm glad you're doing well. I hope your family's well. Okay, that's so disappointing to me. But explain to me why the scaffolding, I get that they have to do work. Did they just not put the scaffolding up all the way down? Because I don't understand why it's broken.
So it's not that the scaffold is not broken. The scaffold was purposefully removed, which is something that doesn't typically happen when there's facade work ongoing. But because we created an area that was inaccessible to the public, and we had an agreement and logs to make sure that there was no one going in that would potentially get hit with anything that falls. So they have to file a bunch of paperwork with DOB and get plans approved. And this is the way the current plan reads. And until that work is done, there's no way to go back and open it up to the public.
Because it's not safe. And then you're not going to go to the cost of putting
essentially, Justine, it's a good question because I had the same thing until I'm stupid and Matt very helpfully explained it to me. Skanska's site fencing is essentially doubling as the scaffolding.
Got it. Yeah, it's protecting people. I get
do the site work with the scaffolding up. They said, we'll put the site fencing up. You remove the scaffolding. It'll allow us to do the work while also keeping the area safe as a scaffolding would, as a sidewalk shed would.
Question for you guys. Do we have an idea, Matt, how long they're going to be? I mean, not etched in stone that you have to answer me, but if they're going to be like 2 months, 3 months, sorry, put up scaffolding.
We're in the process of working with them with actually getting paperwork filed with DOB to hopefully get DOB to bless that the work is substantially complete. And we've built a relationship with the DOB people through EDC and Battery Park City and State DOT to try and help this move forward. And we have somebody's ear, so it's not just another application, because we know how important this area is to everybody in the community. Sure. So that's why we're staying engaged to try and rectify this situation for everybody.
Okay, because
even though unfortunately, I wish that I could open it up and do it and make that phone call for you guys, but I don't want it to sit there and get lost in the shuffle inside DOB.
Right. No, I appreciate that. I appreciate you staying on top of it. And I guess I'm going to go to Kathy in 1 second, but now I understand what the deal is. I thought the work they were doing was just where the scaffolding was. Now I get it's the whole space. And all right, they have to finish what they have to do, but they need to hurry up. All right, Kathy, go ahead. Ask your question, my dear.
Well, it's more of a comment. I just wanted to give you some perspective on this. I'm a community gardener.
Yeah.
That maybe you're not thinking about. The earliest spring bulbs will be coming out in 2 to 3 weeks. And that's a point where people kind of want to get down and tidy up their gardens.
Right.
And more important, the earliest set out date for annuals and planting and things like, early vegetables that you see is May 1st in New York. So, And most people will take the month of May to get their plants in and they're done by Memorial Day. But if you miss that, it's really hard to get decent plants, particularly with COVID and how the nurseries have been stocked. So, I realize there are all kinds of limitations here on what you can do, but, it may have an impact on the gardens that you're not particularly thinking about if it goes too long.
So I can assure you that that is honestly the first thing that is on my mind and on our team's mind was the impact that it's going to have to the garden, just for that reason. I mean, my wife has me building raised beds in the back of our house this year. That was my Christmas present to her. So I understand that I'm under the gun to get those done so that we can get bulbs and seeds in the ground. So believe me, we understand the urgency with that, and we're trying to do what we can.
Do what you can. That would be great, Matt. Thank you so much. Anybody else have a question or comment?
Justine, I think it might be a record.
I think it might be a record. Wow. This was a very short meeting. Sorry, guys, but you know what? It was a good meeting too. So thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep.
Be
Thanks
well.
for coming, and thank you all for being here and for presenting. I appreciate it. See you next month.
Justine,
Thanks,
Kathy,
everyone.
everyone. Thanks, everyone. Matt, Jeff.